If any of you have ever eaten like packaged foods, there's probably a good chance that you've eaten trans fats before. Trans fats have played a huge part of the manufacture of packaged goods in the U.S. And they're often hidden in the ingredients label nowadays, so you might be eating more than you think. According to the FDA, it's legal for companies to put 0 grams trans fat or trans fat free on a label as long as there's less than half a gram per serving. So, oh wait.
No, what because they didn't put the frickin' thing in there for it. Sorry.
That's fine.
Technical difficulties. Now try it.
Okay,
You
so
want to start again, or do you want to just go from there?
I'll just go from here.
Okay.
Okay, so today I will tell you about what trans fats are and how they're used, what kind of foods you can find them in, and how trans fats affect health. So what are trans fats anyways? Trans fats are a man-made kind of fat where you take a liquid vegetable oil and you kind of bombard it with like hydrogen atoms, and you don't really have to know like the chemistry behind it, but basically what it does is it solidifies the liquid fat, so it kind of turns it into a more stable fat, kind of like an animal fat, like a lard almost. This process creates a whole new type of fat. It's unlike vegetable oil and unlike animal fat. So why use hydrogenated oils? Like I said before, this stabilizes the fat, gives whatever food you put it in a really long shelf life, which is perfect for convenience foods like that can last a million years in your freezer. Like you don't even have to worry about them. And that's why like Twinkies will last like beyond nuclear war, pretty much. But also what hydrogenated oils do is they enhance the texture and flavor of food. This kind of gives it a lot of like our favorite like comfort foods, that addictive kind of quality, like when you can't stop eating it. It's also really cheap to produce, so it's really good for like manufacturing on like a mass scale. Also, a lot of foods that contain trans fats are really popular in the American diet, and it makes them really profitable for manufacturers. The use of trans fats has actually gone down a lot in the past few years. This graph only shows until 2007, but as you can see, as producers put the no trans fat label on, then there's like less, like you can see that people are using less trans fats because like people are putting more trans fat free labels, so people kind of know trans fats are bad, I better not buy this. So how do you know if there's trans fats in your food? Actually, the only real, like even if your package says trans fat free, the only real way to know is to look at the ingredients label. You have to look for anything that says fully or partially hydrogenated oil, because as soon as you see that, there's trans fats in your food. Like I said, the package is allowed to say 0 grams as long as there's less than half a gram per serving, and the serving can be adjusted by the manufacturer. Like it can sometimes be a kind of unrealistic serving. Like one bag of chips could have 5 servings, but you might eat the whole like bag of chips and not realize that you had a bunch of half-gram servings, which would equal to a considerable amount if you think about it. So now that we know kind of about what trans fats are and where you can find them, what kind of foods are they usually put in? Trans fats kind of got popular back around World War II when butter had to be rationed. So margarine was popular because it was a cheap butter substitute, and that's made pretty much completely out of trans fats. Nowadays, they kind of have different oils, but that's kind of how it got started. Now, trans fats are put in a bunch of packaged foods, processed foods, crackers, chips, cookies. Fast food's a big one, and restaurant meals. They're still found a lot in like canned frostings and ready-made pie crusts and stuff like that. So, why is it important to know about trans fats? Well, the big deal about them is how they affect your health. Trans fats raise the bad cholesterol in our bloodstream while at the same time lowering the good cholesterol. According to the American Heart Association, if you have elevated bad, like LDL, which is the bad cholesterol levels in your blood, this can lead to like plaque in your arteries, which can lead to heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure, a condition called atherosclerosis, which is the actual hardening of the arteries, which you can imagine is not good. It has also been found that trans fats can lead to obesity and insulin resistance. There's a study done by the American Association for the Study of Obesity using monkeys, where they took one set of monkeys, like had like a normal diet, and then the other set had a diet with trans fats. And the one that had trans fats had an increase in abdominal fat, and they also showed signs of insulin resistance, which can lead to type 2 diabetes. So even though those were just animal studies, you can kind of see there might be a correlation between that and people consuming trans fats. So, in conclusion, trans fats are a man-made fat used to extend the shelf life of food. They're cheap to mass produce a bunch of different like convenience foods, and they're just like really popular. They help give food like a really good like addictive taste. The only way to know for sure if there are trans fats in your food is to look at the ingredients label and to see if anything says hydrogenated oils. And the consumption of trans fats has been linked to various health conditions, including heart disease, obesity, high blood pressure, and even possibly type 2 diabetes. So, if you're concerned about trans fats, just look at the ingredients label, and you see hydrogenated oils, and you might want to pick something else, or not.
Great.